Good evening to you, Aviwe. So, bail has been denied, but on what grounds?
So, Sally, this is a Schedule 6 offence. So this means that it's up to the bail applicants, in this case the police officers, to prove exceptional circumstances to be granted bail in the interest of justice, and they failed to do this. So Magistrate Mango had a number of things to consider in terms of giving these three police officers bail, one of them being maintaining the public peace. You heard the community already outraged, and if they were to be granted bail, they promised that they'd take to the streets already. Another issue that the magistrate had to consider, would these officers temper with the investigations if they were to be granted bail. And the magistrate believes that this is most likely, seeing that already they are charged with tampering with the crime scene on the day. Another issue that the magistrate had to consider is whether they'd intimidate the state witnesses if they were to be released on bail. Magistrate saying that there's a possibility that they could do this, seeing that they already know some of the state witnesses. But I want you to listen to Magistrate Mango as he delivered that bail.
On a balanced consideration of all factors mentioned above, I come to the conclusion that the three applicants have failed on a balance of probabilities to prove exceptional circumstances. Consequent thereto, their application to be admitted to bail is dismissed at this stage.
Now, today you also spoke to Nathaniel Julies' mother about the bail being denied for those three police officers. I would imagine she was quite satisfied with that outcome.
In the end, she was satisfied, but it's been quite a roller coaster ride just today as well. I remember when the court was adjourned just for a bit there, how she was weeping, teary-eyed essentially, and even speaking to the El Dorado community, threatening to take to the streets if these three police officers were to be granted bail. But essentially, in speaking to Bridget Harris, she did say that she's elated of this outcome, but it's still a long way to go. Let's listen to Nathaniel's mother, Bridget Harris.
I'm very happy that the magistrate considered the community and that he denies them bail. For me now, it's a long way to still go, and a lot of things is going to still come out, and I can say now that I'm happy.
At the centre of it all is a broken-hearted mother. And I know that Nathaniel Julies' mother is also saying she doesn't really buy what the three cops are saying about what happened on that fateful day. Last week, quite a lot of information came out from the police officer's perspective. We know, for example, that accused number 2, Caylene Whiteboy, is the young officer who actually fired that shot. She says she was acting on orders of her superior, and there was all sorts of interesting information coming out. Just recap for us what we know about what happened on that night from the police's perspective and the big questions that remain.
She says she's received 45 death threats, some of them coming from accused number 1, Scorpion Ndyalvane, as well as some drug lords in El Dorado Park. I mean, Sally, there's a lot that we can deduce already just from the prima facie evidence that we've heard last week as the bail hearing proceeded. We know it's Caylene Whiteboy who pulled that trigger. She says she didn't intentionally mean to kill Nathaniel. That shotgun that she used on the day was booked off essentially by accused number 1, Scorpion Ndyalvane, with no ammunition. That raises a number of questions already, because we know one of the charges there are the possession of prohibited ammunition. We understand that specific shotgun was used earlier on in the day, the 26th of August, that fateful day where Nathaniel Julies was gunned down. It was used in Freedom Park already, where it was fired by Caylene Whiteboy. There, when she fired that shotgun, it was loaded with rubber bullets. She says unknowingly to her during the day that ammunition was then changed to live ammunition, and then later on in the evening around about 9 o'clock she was given the order by Scorpion Ndyalvane to shoot Nathaniel Julies, which she said she still thought it was still rubber bullets that were at play. We then understand that Nathaniel was immediately taken to Baragwanath Hospital, where accused number 3 was then involved, Voster, the officer who was off duty on that day, off sick in fact on that day. He was called by accused number 1 to come there, and he went to Baragwanath Hospital. We understand that he was then given 2 live ammunition bullet cartridges, essentially to go plant in the scene, almost as if to make it seem as if there was some sort of gang-related violence that had happened that had led to the death of Nathaniel Julies. I mean, in an interview that I had with police watchdog IPID on Friday, they said that they weren't told about this timelessly. It raised a number of concerns because in such incidents, whatever grievances or aggressions that the police do, they're supposed to report it immediately to IPID, whether it's rape or murder, natures of this incident. We understand that that was done only a day later, which IPID says it's taking up with the station commander as we speak. So a number of things that we can deduce already from the prima facie evidence that we heard in the bail hearing, Sally.
Very quickly, so the 3 have been denied bail. Any clue as to when the court case is actually going to get underway?
So we've been called back to the Protea Magistrate Court on the 6th of November. Now what will happen is that the police are still conducting the investigations, I understand, done by IPID. So the matter was just they were remanded in custody today to reappear on the 6th of November for further investigations. But we do understand this matter is most likely going to head to the High Court.
Well, thank you very much, Aviwe Mtile. The 3 police officers involved in the shooting of the 16-year-old in Eldorado Park denied bail. And at about 1:15 we will actually be speaking to a policing expert. So many questions about police conduct on that day.